It's Amy, your Gray Girlfriend, and welcome to the Gray Girlfriend's Guide to Life podcast. First, let me say that I'm so happy and grateful that you're here with me. Out of the more than 3 million podcasts available, you chose this one, so thank you. This podcast was created for high-achieving women, real women who face and conquer real challenges, real women who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Between us all, we've been through it all, and I'm here to tell you, you can thrive despite it. So whether you're commuting to or from work or doing one of the other 50,000 things you do on a weekly basis, pop in your earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Today's episode is No More HoliDAZE. The holidays are supposed to be filled with joy and togetherness and twinkly light magic. That's what the movies and most social media feeds keep insisting anyway. But if you grew up in a dysfunctional family, the holidays often leave you feeling dazed. Whether you're divorced or freshly out of a toxic relationship, or going low or no contact with family, or slowly untangling yourself from years of dysfunction, this season can feel less like a celebration and more like a spotlight on everything that has changed or everything that was never safe to begin with. Rapid transformational therapy, better known as RTT, can be a powerful way to release the old subconscious patterns that keep pulling you back into grief and guilt and self-blame, so you can actually move forward instead of just surviving another December. If you resemble this remark, there is nothing wrong with you. Your nervous system is simply responding honestly to a season that used to demand you perform or people please or disappear parts of yourself to keep the peace. RTT works at the root of those patterns by helping you uncover the beliefs formed in earlier experiences, often in childhood or in past relationships, so you can understand where they came from and reframe them and install new, healthier meanings. When those beliefs shift at a subconscious level, it becomes easier to choose alignment instead of obligation, even during emotionally loaded times like the holidays. Sometimes the old holidays just don't fit anymore. Maybe your old holidays were wrapped up in a marriage that has ended, or a partner who is emotionally unavailable, or a family system where love and harm were braided together. Maybe you grew up walking on eggshells around unpredictable parents, or were trained to keep secrets, or learned to read the room before you knew how to read a book. So now you find yourself divorced and facing your first holiday in your new home, or newly single after ending a relationship that was slowly chipping away your self-worth. Or choosing to have low or no contact with family because the cost of staying in that dynamic was simply too high. Or you're recovering from codependency or addiction or chronic people-pleasing and realizing you can't do the holidays the old way and stay well. Of course, it feels strange or tender or even wrong. The familiar script is gone, but the new one isn't written yet. RTT can help you identify the old script and rewrite it at the subconscious level so you can step into a new role during the holidays without feeling like you're betraying your entire history. You know what I'm talking about here. You know that old script, the one that says, I have to keep everyone happy, or I'm responsible for the mood in the room, or if I say no, I'll be rejected. Yeah, that's the one. It's time to get rid of it and write a new one, and RTT can help. When you step away, you feel grief and relief and everything in between. When you step away from dysfunctional relationships, whether they are romantic or familial or otherwise, you don't just lose people. You lose roles and routines and identities and expectations. So you might be grieving several things at once. You may be grieving the picture you had of what your family should have looked like by now. Or the fantasy of finding one perfect holiday where everyone was kind and sober and emotionally safe. Or the role you used to play. Maybe you were the fixer or the golden child or the peacemaker or the one who made everything look okay. Or the version of you who tolerated what you of today would never agree to again. Grief can show up in tears or numbness or irritability or a quiet ache when the world goes festive and you feel out of sync with all the merry and bright. And relief can show up right beside it. Maybe you take a deeper breath and you feel less dread and the surprising calm of knowing you don't have to walk into the same chaos this year. RTT doesn't erase grief. Grief is a natural response to loss. but it can soften the edges of it by addressing the hidden beliefs wrapped around your pain. For example, RTT can help you uncover and release beliefs such as, I ruined everything, or I'm unlovable because my marriage failed, or if I'm not the caregiver, I have no value. It can transform the inner narrative from self-blame to self-compassion so you can feel your feelings without attacking yourself at the same time. It can help you reconnect with a sense of inner safety and worth, which makes it possible to grieve what was and still believe in what can be. When you're not fighting yourself internally, it becomes much easier to feel the waves of grief and relief without getting stuck in them. You're allowed to do holidays differently, my friend. That is the part many people in healing need to hear most clearly, so I'm going to say it again. You are allowed to do the holidays differently now. And I'm going to say it one more time. You are allowed to do the holidays differently now. You don't have to earn that right through more suffering or more proving. Leaving what harms you was enough. Doing the holidays differently might mean not attending certain gatherings at all because your body tightens just thinking about them. Or it might mean leaving early or meeting in a neutral location or shortening visits to what your nervous system can reasonably handle. Or it might feel choosing to be alone rather than in a room where you feel lonelier than if you were actually by yourself. Or it might be saying, I won't be coming this year, and letting that be the complete sentence. Often the hardest part is not the boundary itself, but the beliefs underneath it, the belief we give that boundary, such as, I'm selfish, or I'm a bad daughter, parent, partner, or they'll hate me if I don't go. RTT can target exact beliefs, tracing them back to the memories where they were formed, then helping you understand them from your adult perspective. From there, you can install new beliefs such as, my needs matter, and healthy boundaries are loving, and I'm allowed to protect my peace. When the subconscious is on board with your boundaries, they stop feeling like a constant fight and start feeling like a natural extension of who you're becoming. You are allowed to create the holiday of your desires. If the old script no longer works, what does your new script look like? A powerful question to ask yourself is this. If I could design a holiday that truly supported my healing and desires, what would it feel like? Start with feelings, not logistics. How do you want this holiday to feel? Do you want it to feel peaceful? Or maybe you want it to feel spacious or sacred, playful or nurturing or grounding. From there, you can start to shape your own holiday of desire, be it a day or a season that honors your nervous system and your values and the version of you who is emerging. Your holiday of desire might include a slow morning with no alarms and no rushing around, just coffee or tea or journaling or reading something that reminds you of who you are becoming. Or maybe it includes a new ritual, such as lighting a candle for the relationship or family role or version of yourself you released this year, and another candle for what you're calling in now. Or maybe it includes spending time in nature. Maybe you take a walk or a hike or a drive to see the coast or the mountains, letting your body remember that life exists outside of holiday expectations. Or maybe you include acts of service in your day, such as volunteering or doing something kind from a place of fullness, not self-erasure. Or maybe you create chosen family time. You know, you can't choose your family, but you can choose your friends, so there is no reason to have bad friends. So with this in mind, create a found family feast. Invite safe friends for brunch or dinner. And if traditional holiday foods are not your thing, serve whatever is your thing. Or make it a simple potluck where the only theme is come as you are, not as you think you should be. You get to choose, my friend. You get to choose. How good does that feel? RTT can support this holiday of desire process by helping you clarify what you actually want, not what you were taught you're supposed to want, and by dissolving the internal resistance to receiving it. Many people discover in session that receiving rest or love or ease feels unfamiliar or even wrong because their subconscious equates discomfort with normal. But when that programming shifts, it becomes easier to let holidays be lighter and simpler and more aligned without sabotaging or minimizing the good that's finally showing up in your life. Friend, I encourage you to think about boundaries as a new tradition, and here's why. If your old holidays were built on self-abandonment, then boundaries are not just a skill this year, they're a new tradition. And here's what boundaries can sound like. Imagine yourself saying, I'm not available to discuss my relationship status or divorce at family gatherings. Or, I'll be staying for 2 hours and then I'm heading home. Or, if this conversation turns into yelling or shaming or blaming, I'll need to end it. Or, I'm choosing not to come this year. I'm focusing on my health and healing. Remember, the only people who have a problem with your having boundaries are the people who benefit from you not having them. I'm going to say that again because that's really important. The only people who will have a problem with your having boundaries are the people who benefit from you not having them. So how does RTT help with setting boundaries? RTT helps with boundaries by going to the root of why they feel so hard. In both of my programs, you may discover memories where saying no led to punishment or rejection or ridicule, and your mind learned that agreeing keeps you safe. By revisiting and reprocessing those memories, your mind can update the story that you are no longer that child or that trapped version of yourself. You have agency now. As that new understanding sinks in, asserting boundaries starts to feel less like danger and more like self-respect. Over time, the first wave of guilt or fear around saying no fades and a new pattern forms. Your body relaxes and your resentment decreases, and the holidays start to feel less like a test and more like a choice. You can honor the good parts of your past while blessing the future. Choosing a new way to do holidays doesn't erase what came before. There may be years when memories hit hard, like the smell of certain foods or a song or a certain decoration that reminds you of both what you had and what you never got to have. You are allowed to pause and to cry and to miss even the people or dynamics that were not good for you. Attachment and harm can coexist, but so can grief and growth. Consider creating space to honor what you're releasing and bless what you're building. Consider writing a letter that you never have to send to your former partner or your family or even your old self, naming what you're grateful for and what you're finally putting down. Or create a small ritual such as lighting a candle or looking at an old photo for a moment, then consciously turning towards something that represents the life you're choosing now. Or go to a mirror and look yourself in your beautiful eyes, put your hand on your heart and say out loud, I'm allowed to want more than survival. I'm allowed to have holidays that feel kind to me. RTT complements these practices by helping you integrate them at a deeper level. Instead of simply trying to think differently, you use the RTT process to anchor new beliefs and images in the subconscious, where automatic reactions come from. That way, your nervous system learns that it's safe to let go and it's safe to move on and it's safe to build something new, even if the past is still part of your story. And remember this, you are not behind, you are becoming. If you scroll through social media and see matching pajamas and big family gatherings, it can be easy to believe that you're behind or broken because your holidays look different this year. But many people in those photos are carrying private grief or stress or stories you'll never see. And many more are watching you quietly. They're gathering courage from your willingness to step out of what harmed you and into something truer. You are not behind, my friend. You are in process. You are a work in progress. And that process may feel messy right now, and that progress may feel shaky at times, and that's okay. My favorite character of all time, Ted Lasso, described himself as a work in progress. You are a work in progress, my friend, and so am I, and so is everyone else on the road of recovery or on the road of healing or on the road of transformation. So whether you're divorced or single or newly boundaried or bravely choosing low or no contact, you are allowed to create a holiday that makes your body feel safe and your heart feel seen. RTT can help you release the old programming that keeps you looping in guilt and shame and stuckness so you can actually move on, not just intellectually, but in how you feel and how you live. You are allowed to build new traditions around rest and honesty and warmth and spiritual connection and chosen family. You're allowed to have a holiday of desire that reflects the person you're becoming, not the version of you who had to survive dysfunction. This year, your holidays can be more than just something you get through. With the support of RTT and your own growing self-trust, your holidays can become a gentle yet powerful chapter in your story of becoming who you were always meant to be. I'm wishing you peace and plenty of authentic holiday cheer. Until next time, this is Amy, your gray and authentically cheerful girlfriend. Hey, by the way, one more thing. If this episode resonates with you, save it for the hard days. And if you know someone who needs permission to do holidays differently, share this episode with them. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Until next time. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.